Name, Mike Weber. Position, running back. School, Ohio State Conference. Big Ten class, RS Junior. Jersey, no. 25 Recruitment rating, 4-star HT, 5 feet 10 inches WT, 211 D.O.B, August 25, 1997 Rushing, receiving Scrimmage Year School Conf Class Post G at Yards AVGTD Rec Yards AVGTD Plays Yards AVGTD * 2015 Ohio State Big Ten FRRB 000 * 2016 Ohio State Big Ten FRRB 13182 1096 6.0923 914.00 205 11875.89 * 2017 Ohio State Big Ten SORB 12,101,626 6.210 949.40 111,726.510 * 2018 Ohio State Big Ten Junior RB 13,172,954 5.55 21 1125.31 193 1066 5.56 Career Ohio State 455 2676 5.92 454 297 5.51 509 2973 5.8 25 Highlights. The top plays by Ohio State RB Mike Weber, who announced that he will be entering the 2019 NFL Draft. Subscribe to Big Ten Network on YouTube. New highlights. He took over for Ezekiel Elliott in 2016 as a redshirt freshman and rushed for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards per carry. He was part of a timeshare with J.K. Dobbins in 2017 and 2018, but still rushed for over 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns in his final 2 years at OU. He has a high motor player with good football IQ. As a runner, Weber does a good job of pressing the line of scrimmage before using his vision to pick his running lane. Is a smooth athlete with good contact balance. Not a lot of wasted movement when he has the ball in his hands. A little more slippery as a runner than expected. Stocky build helps him in short yardage situations. Shows good leg drive and does well to spin or contort his body at contact to fall forward. Weber can be a weapon in the passing game. He shows soft, natural hands when catching the ball out of the backfield and can be a threat after the catch. Shows good body control when balls are thrown outside his frame. Has shown he can be an effective route runner and has the ability to stretch the field vertically. Willingness as a pass protector, but could stand to clean up his technique. Cons: Mike Weber has the skill set to become a complete three-down running back in the NFL, but there are areas of his game that may keep him from being nothing more than a rotational player and spot starter. Most notably is his lack of breakaway speed and the durability issues he had in 2017 that allowed J.K. Dobbins to take over as the Buckeyes' lead back. He shows only moderate burst when hitting the hole. Doesn't hit top speed immediately. More of a build-up runner. Struggles when he has to change directions, especially when moving laterally. Will get what's blocked for him, but doesn't show the ability to create on his own. Weber may struggle as a receiving back in the NFL. Mostly caught just swing passes and checkdowns at Ohio State and needs to prove he can run a more diverse route tree to deserve more targets. Lack of lateral mobility and change of direction will hurt his ability to separate. Shows the willingness as a press protector, but needs to clean up his technique. Cowboys fit. If drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, Mike Weber would be the third running back from Ohio State to play for America's team in last few years. He would join former teammate Ezekiel Elliott and replace Rod Smith, both of who are former Buckeyes. Weber didn't officially play with either, but he did watch Zeke from the sidelines during his freshman year at OU, which just so happened to be a redshirt year for him. Weber would immediately become Zeke's backup as a rookie and could form a really good 1-2 punch in the Cowboys' backfield. He has the versatility to be a threat in any offensive scheme, but probably fits best in his own blocking scheme. He can be a weapon as both a runner and receiver out of the backfield, but may not be anything more than a rotational back in the NFL or an emergency fill-in. He is projected to be a mid-round pick, which is where the Cowboys could look to draft him. Names continue to drop almost daily due to private workouts, pro day visits, 30 pre-draft visitors, and Dallas Day for local prospects who played or grew up in the area. The fun part about this time of year is studying these potential prospects and debating not only where they may be drafted, but their fit with the Dallas Cowboys. Opinions will vary of course on different players and their fit with the Cowboys, which only makes the debate that much more fun. It's what makes the NFL Draft one of the more popular events of the off-season. Today, I want to talk about 5 players who have been linked to the Dallas Cowboys as potential draft targets. There are several people out there who are really high on these players, but I personally have a hard time buying into the hype. Please continue to read below to see the players I believe are a little overhyped. Jalen Ferguson, Louisiana Tech to Jalen Ferguson. Jalen Ferguson was highly productive in college and certainly looks the part of an NFL defensive end, but looks and production can be deceiving. He has benefited from playing against lesser talent in the FBS division while at Louisiana Tech, but is going to struggle against more athletic and talented players in the NFL. The Cowboys have shown an interest in Ferguson, but I for one don't buy into the hype. He's been projected as a potential first-round pick, but his lack of athleticism on tape was confirmed recently at his pro day. He won't be able to overpower offensive linemen in the NFL and unfortunately doesn't have the speed or athleticism to fall back on. Because of that, I wouldn't consider drafting him until day 3. Jonathan Abram, Mississippi State Jonathan Abram. Jonathan Abram is another player the Dallas Cowboys have shown an interest in and have met with recently, who I believe is a bit overhyped. He has the size, speed, and athleticism NFL teams look for in a safety prospect, but I was really unimpressed when I sat down and watched his tape in Mississippi State. What I saw from Abram is a player who is going to struggle in coverage. I love how he flies all over the field and delivers a hit, but I think he's going to be a liability in the passing game. I think he fits in the mold of another Mark Barron or Deon Buchanan. They were both highly touted safety prospects coming out of college, but ended up playing a hybrid safety, linebacker role. That's what I see when I watch Abram play. My scouting report on Jonathan Abram. DL, Charles Omenihu, Texas DL, Charles Omenihu. Charles Omenihu is someone who's been mocked to the Dallas Cowboys on a number of occasions as their second-round pick at 58th overall, and honestly that scares me a little bit. He looks the part of an NFL defensive end, but so did Taco Charlton. Unfortunately, that's who he reminded me of when I watched his film. Both Charlton and Omenihu look the part of an NFL defensive end, but both players are really raw entering the NFL. Charlton was somebody I thought might be best playing inside at the 3 technique, and I see the same from Omenihu. Just don't know where to play him right now, and I certainly don't want another Taco Charlton. Because of that, I don't buy into his hype. John Williams, scouting report on Charles Omenihu. DL, Zach Allen, Boston College to Zach Allen. The Dallas Cowboys are supposedly pretty high on Zach Allen. He has a real shot to be the one they draft with the 58th overall pick in the second round, but honestly I would be more than a little disappointed if that's the direction they go. He possesses an intriguing skill set, but there are other players I'm higher on for the Cowboys in that range. Allen reminds me a little bit of Tyrone Crawford. I saw a tweener when I studied his game film from Boston College. He is probably capable of playing as a base end on running downs and then kicking inside to the 3 tech on passing downs. But I also think he will struggle at both positions. His lack of athleticism will hurt him as a D against NFL-caliber OTs, and I don't see him holding up consistently on the inside as a DT right now either. I'm concerned he may be nothing more than a rotational player. My scouting report on Zach Allen. WR, D.O.B. Samuel, South Carolina. WR, D.O.B. Samuel. D.O.B. Samuel isn't a name you probably were expecting to see make this list, and for good reason. He is one of the top-rated wide receivers in the 2019 draft class for a reason. He has a really intriguing skill set and should start immediately in the NFL. I'm actually a big fan of Samuel's as well, but I don't completely buy into the hype of having to draft him with the Cowboys' second-round pick. I think there are plenty of WRs the Cowboys can draft a round or two later who can come in and be just as productive as Samuel. I wouldn't be as upset if Samuel ended up being the Cowboy selection at 58 as I would with other players on this list, but he's just not someone I'm completely sold on that early in the draft. Kevin Brady's scouting report on D.O.B. Samuel. Do you buy into the hype on these potential Dallas Cowboys draft targets? If they want to win the 2019 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to find some hidden gems in later rounds. Without a first-round pick, finding talented players who can contribute immediately in 2019 will be tough, but it certainly can be done. Of course, the draft is about more than just immediate needs, though, and Dallas will look to fill potential future holes as well. One of those position groups at risk of becoming a need quickly is cornerback, where much of the Cowboys' depth is or will soon be entering contract years. Central Michigan cornerback Sean Bunting isn't much of a hidden gem anymore, but he certainly presents the upside Dallas could be looking for in this year's draft. The player Sean Bunting is a 6 feet 1 inch, 180-pound corner who made a name for himself nationally at the NFL Combine. Running a 4.42 40-yard dash and jumping 126 inches on the broad jump, fans around the country quickly learned of Bunting. For people like me who had not been keeping a close eye on Bunting prior to the Combine, the question then became, can he play? You can see the upside in Sean Bunting's game on tape. Bunting had 9 interceptions and 15 passes defensed over 3 years in college, 2 as a starter, with his best statistical season coming when he picked off 5 passes in 2017. This type of production typically translates to the NFL, and Bunting has ball skills on tape that would be much a needed addition to the Cowboys' secondary. He can be a little late in his turns when the ball's in the air, but he's a smart player with a good instincts overall, especially in zone coverage. He is very much a work in progress, however. Bunting's ability in man coverage is a bit inconsistent, but his athletic attributes and high points of play ease my concerns. He clearly has quick feet in coverage and has the traits to project as a sticky cover corner, but you just don't see it on film as consistently as you would hope for. Bunting is probably a bit below average as a tackler, but I'm not too concerned about that. You aren't drafting Bunting as a blitzer or to stop the run, you're drafting him to be athletic in the back end and cover people. I can see the Cowboys using Sean Bunting in a variety of different ways. I think he'd be at his best right now as a cover 3 corner, but his traits and length likely signal a long-term fit in Dallas to Chris Richard. If the Cowboys were to take Sean Bunting, however, they might need to do it at 58. He's been a riser since his performance at the Combine, and I'm not sure he'll make it to 90th overall. 58 is a tad too rich for me when it comes to Bunting, but I wouldn't hate the pick whatsoever. The Dallas Cowboys will begin gearing up for their pre-draft visits, including Dallas Day, their National 30 visits, and will make visits to college campuses for pro days over the next few weeks. The Dallas Cowboys have already begun meeting with players and attending pro days. Last week, Cowboys coaches and scouts were in Houston visiting the Cougars pro day. While most of the focus from NFL teams was on top of the draft talent, Ed Oliver, the Cowboys had cornerback Isaiah Johnson in their sights. Just a friendly chat between Chris Richard. You know things are getting serious when you bring your special friends home to meet your parents. Isaiah Johnson also took the time to introduce his parents to Chris Richard. Johnson's family had a friendly conversation with the Cowboys coach. https://t.co/Huck5Act7 It's a relationship that appears to blossoming this spring as the football world gears up for the 2019 NFL Draft. It was the second time in the last month that the Cowboys spent significant time with the cornerback after having a formal meeting with Johnson at the NFL's Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. There is a growing amount of buzz between the Dallas Cowboys and Johnson, and it's warranted given Chris Richard's affinity for long and tall cornerbacks. Isaiah Johnson is one of the biggest defensive backs in the draft and nearly the biggest in every measurement. He's a really good athlete too, as he ran a 40-yard dash of 4.4 seconds and had a broad jump in the 96th percentile for his position group. He's a raw player. Johnson only made 22 starts at cornerback for the Cougars after converting from wide receiver between his sophomore and junior seasons. Johnson had 2 interceptions in each of his junior and senior seasons for the Cougars. Film study For this film study, I looked at games from the 2018 season against Memphis, Rice, and Texas Tech, and then took a look at his game against Temple from 2017. Isaiah Johnson's size is the first thing that stands out. He uses a one-arm stab at the line of scrimmage to disrupt the route of the receiver before beginning his backpedal in coverage. He also played a few snaps in the slot and a few snaps at safety. Was used a lot in cover 3 for the Cougars to limit big plays down the field. Johnson moves well for his size and is willing to put his head down and tackle. Was really good at bringing the ball carrier down once he made contact. Plays better with the receiver in front of him than when playing chase coverage. Mirrors his receivers well in man and can carry them across the formation when necessary. He has good start and stop to come up and run support after his drop and to break on the route. Shows very soft and natural hands when challenging the ball. His interceptions were smooth and easy. Wasn't fighting the ball. Was pretty tight in man coverage. The only routes that he appeared to allow consistent separation were comeback routes, but several of those times, he was playing off coverage and was able to get to the receiver to limit yards after the catch. On screens and in outside running plays, Johnson maintained good discipline by not allowing the runner to get outside of his containment, trusting his team to be there. Very willing tackler in run support. Doesn't seem to shy away from contact. Form tackler that doesn't go for the runner's knees. He needs some more experience and technique work to gain more confidence. Needs to trust his length more. Several times he was flagged for grabbing the jersey of the opponent to prevent getting beat. Several catches he gave up were with his back to the quarterback and he didn't turn around to play the ball. Some refining of his technique will help him to use his length better. Summary: Isaiah Johnson is an intriguing prospect that combines really good height and length with a natural ability to play football. He's a project player at this point in his career after making the transition from wide receiver just 2 years ago. With NFL coaching and some patience, he could be a starter in the NFL. He'll likely be a 4th or 5th round choice, and that's where I'd feel comfortable taking him as a developmental player. Chris Richard has had success in developing cornerbacks drafted in the later rounds with the Seattle Seahawks, and Isaiah Johnson could be the next player to benefit from his coaching. He's a project player, but someone who has the tools that could help him develop into a starting cornerback in the NFL.